Welcome to Learn Logic Pro. Today we're going to look at the inspector. And if you look on the left hand side, you have the big eye in blue. If you click on it, it hides and shows the inspector. Now the inspector essentially is the area that inspects what kind of track you're on, what are the settings. So let's look at all of the presets. So the first thing I'm going to do is let me add an audio track as well so you can see that. Okay. First on an instrument track, I'm going to open up the triangle so you can see everything. So at top, on virtual instruments or MIDI, you will find quantize as being at the top where you have all the quantize options. You can create a loop which will basically loop any region over and over until the end of the song. You can transpose MIDI notes up and down, change the velocity of the notes. If you change these before you record, it will record those velocities and those quantizations and those transpositions on the input. You can change the dynamics, the gate time, shortening the notes or making them longer. And you can also delay the MIDI just by small percentages. Below that you have the instrument inspector, which shows the icon. In this case it is the default icon. If you click on there, you will find a huge array of really cool icons, and there's more that can be downloaded from various sites online, but there's a lot of really cool icons in here. Here it shows the MIDI channel. When you're using a multi-timbral virtual instrument, you will be able to change different MIDI channels and to trigger different samples coming from that virtual instrument. Below that you have the value as dB or number, again transposition, velocity, key limiting. This is quite interesting. You can key limit a virtual instrument just over a certain range of the keyboard if you choose only an octave or the full range. You can also velocity limit. If you want this virtual instrument to only play at a certain velocity that's pressed, you can limit that. There's a really cool trick where you can actually arm two tracks at once and key limit each track separately, having a bass key limited on this side, just the low side, and the, say, a piano up here or Rhodes, and you key limit that for your right hand. This allows you to play two virtual instruments at the same time, which is quite nice. You can delay again the information by just a percentage, step percentage. You can force it not to transpose or not to reset MIDI. And below that you have style, and this is very, very cool. For anybody who's doing sheet music who needs to stylize the sheet music for the specific instrument that's being inputted, if you stylize this first, say if you put this to alto sax and then you recorded MIDI, when you get to the score editor, it looks appropriate for that style. So if you're making a template and you want to have everything stylized appropriately, you want to go ahead and make sure that you go into this option and you stylize these. Say for instance, drum tablature looks completely different from guitar tablature or piano. And again, stylizing each one and saving it as a template will ensure that your score pages are appropriate to the virtual instrument or the instrument that you're triggering. On audio, you'll notice that it's a little bit different. You don't get some of these options down at the bottom as you did on the MIDI, and that's essentially you just get an icon, a MIDI channel, and the value that's being shown. And that's the inspector. LearnLogicPro.com.